A US fighter jet goes down. Not in open waters, not near a friendly base, but deep inside hostile territory. An American pilot ejects and lands in an area where every minute matters. Because this isn't just a crash, it's a race. A race between rescue and capture. In situations like this, the protocol is pretty clear. Pilots are trained for survival behind enemy lines. Evade, hide, conserve movement, and establish minimal communication. Just enough to signal, not enough to be tracked, and that's exactly where things take an unexpected turn. Because soon after the crash, signals begin to emerge. But something about them doesn't feel right. The US picks up communication that appears to be coming from the downed pilot. But there's a problem. The tone, the phrasing, it doesn't fully match expected patterns. Some reports even suggest it carried elements that raised a suspicion of possible mimicry. And in modern conflict, that's not far-fetched because adversaries can intercept, replicate, and even manipulate signals, turning a rescue operation into a trap, which creates a dangerous dilemma. If the signal is real, delay could cost the pilot everything. But if it's a trap, moving in could mean losing an entire rescue team. So for a brief but critical window, the operation pauses. Not out of hesitation, but verification. Satellite feeds, drone surveillance, signal triangulation, everything is brought in to answer one question. Is the pilot alive, and is the ground safe enough to attempt rescue? Once that confirmation comes in, the decision is made, they are going in, US is going in. What follows is one of the most complex types of military missions, a combat search and rescue operation inside a very hostile war zone. This isn't just about sending in a helicopter, it's about coordination across multiple layers. Low altitude insertion to avoid radar detection, electronic warfare support to disrupt tracking systems, air cover to respond if things escalate, and then comes one of the most critical elements. Reports suggest that the operation used an abandoned airstrip in southern Isfahan, not as a coincidence but as a calculated choice. A pre-identified landing zone, remote enough to reduce exposure, structured enough to enable a rapid extraction. But even then, nothing about this whole operation sounds safe. Iranian air defenses are active, the area is highly unpredictable, highly fortified, and the window for execution is extremely narrow. At one very specific point, the operation itself nearly runs into trouble with reports of aircraft issues threatening to disrupt the mission, but speed becomes the deciding factor here. The team gets in, the pilot is located, secured, rescued, and within minutes, they're out. No prolonged engagement, no second chances, just precision, least limited amount of exposure as possible. On surface, this is a very big success. A downed pilot recovered from deep inside hostile territory, a mission executed under pressure without any escalation, but step back and the picture becomes more complex. Because this rescue didn't happen in isolation completely. A US fighter jet was still shot down, advanced systems were still lost, and the cost of the entire operation itself runs into hundreds of millions, which raises a larger question. If every such incident requires this level of coordination and cost, then how sustainable is it for the US? Because this isn't just about one mission, it's about the kind of conflict this is becoming. Not fast, decisive victories, but prolonged, high-risk engagements where even successful operations come with a price. Iran, despite pressure, demonstrated the ability to strike. The US, despite that, demonstrated the ability to recover. And between those two realities is where this conflict now sits, not defined by who wins a single moment, but by who can keep going longer under pressure. I am Abhijit, and you were watching DNA Explained.